OpenGL 4 Shading Language Cookbook 3rd edition. From this book, I will cover Chapter 1 using GLM for Mathematics. To use GLM library, we need to include these two header files, glm.hpp, gtc matrix transformation.hpp. We also need to include gtc type_ptr.hpp. So we basically need three header files, type_ptr.hpp and glm.hpp, gtc matrix transform.hpp. We need to include three header files. In this documentation, glm rotate. In this function, this is first argument, this is second argument. We want to create rotation matrix. This is a vector, this is unit vector in the direction of y-axis. This second argument denotes angle of rotation. In this documentation, it says the second parameter is the angle of rotation in degree. But this documentation is wrong. This is not angle of rotation in degrees. It should be angle in radians. So this documentation is wrong. Hi everyone, my name is Thomas Kim. Today is October 15th, 2022. This is my 107th episode about C++ 17 2023 CUDA SQL OpenGL DBB. This is also second episode about OpenGL matrix handling. In this episode, we will learn how to use GLM for mathematics. If you want to follow my current and future sessions, you must have watched my previous videos listed here, especially episode 104, 105, 106. Please double-click episode 106. I assume you have watched my previous video, episode 06, OpenGL Matrix Handling 1. Click Show More. You can click Download current video source code. Click this button. Show in folder. Unzip it. Rename 107. Copy. Paste it in your working directory. In this folder, double-click this solution. From the Solution Explorer, I will pin down or hide. Open up source.cpp to follow my current and future sessions. I assume you have watched my previous videos listed here, especially episode 104, 105, 106. We created this source code through episode 105 and episode 106. Press Ctrl F5. We created this program in our previous episode. Now close it. Close it. Please understand that we are going to use OpenGL 4 Shading Language Cookbook 3rd edition. In this book, Chapter 1, using GLM for mathematics. I assume you read this part of the book while watching my video. In the header file, Programming Guide. Please open it. Here, we need to include GLM, GTC, matrix transform.hpp. We also need include GLM, GTC, type, ptr, hpp. We have to include these header files for OpenGL math library. Please understand that we overloaded these operators in our previous episode. Now save all. In the source.cpp, scroll down. We created this function in our previous episode. In episode 6, we created this function. Also, in episode 105, we created this function. So, in episode 105, we created initialize function, and in episode 106, we created display function. Now I will disable this function and remove override. Copy up to this point. Copy, paste. Now scroll up. I will enable this function. So we copy and pasted this function from our previous episode. We will change these functions: Frustum, translate, scale, rotate, these functions to use OpenGL math library. This angle is assumed in degree. Now we have to change it to radian angles. Angles in radians. To do this, we can use GLM radians. So we convert from degree to radian. Now scroll down. We need unit matrix. So const auto unit mat for GLM mat for 1.0 app. This is now unit matrix. Debug unit mat for. We can display unit mat for like this. Now press Ctrl F5. Don't concern about this part. I will close it. So unit mat for is unit matrix. Now close it. Scroll down. We will cut, paste. We will use GLM Frustum. We can pass exactly the same parameter. Sorry, it should be Frustum. Now scroll down. Here we are passing projection matrix to this Vertex shader. I will auto hide. We are passing this projection matrix to projection matrix index. Here, it should be pointer. We have to typecast GL plot pointer, then address. We have to fix like this. I will discuss this part shortly. Then, now translate. Copy. Paste it here. We use GLM translate. We have to pass unit matpo, then GLM back3. We have to fix like this. Here scaling, copy, paste. It should be GLM scale. We have to pass unit matpo GLM back3. We have to fix like this. I will give a line break here. Also, cut, paste, GLM, rotate. We pass unit matrix, unit matpo. This is axis of rotation. We need to pass angle. This angle should be in radian. Then GLM back3. This is axis for rotation. We are rotating with respect to y-axis, so it should be 0.0 f, 1.0 f, 0.0 f. In the same manner, cut, copy, paste it here, copy, paste it here. Angle should be in radians. Also in radians. Now this is rotation with respect to z-axis. In case of this function, RotateY, angle should be in degree, but in case of GLM rotate, this angle should be in radian. Okay, please tell the difference. Right click, go to definition. In this function, this angle is in radian angle. So this documentation is wrong. In this documentation, GLM rotate. First parameter, second parameter. This documentation says the second parameter is the angle of rotation in degree. This is wrong. In this source code, angle is in radian. This is radian angle. Now back here, in this part, we have to typecast GL float. We have to fix like this. Now press Ctrl F5. It obviously does not work. Now close it. Close it. Scroll up. In this function, we used Frustum function in our previous episode. This function returns row major matrix, but in current session we use GLM library. The function arguments are identical, but this function returns column major matrix. In the same manner, translate. This function returns row major matrix, but GLM translate. This function returns column major matrix. Here, in the Vertex shader, OpenGL expects column major matrix. In our previous episode, when we specify uniform, we passed GL true to convert row major to column major, but this projection matrix created using GLM Frustum, this is already column major, so it should be false because it is already column major. We don't need to convert already column major matrix. In the same manner, we created all our matrix using GLM library. So this model view matrix is already column major matrix. So it should be false. We have to fix like this. Now press Ctrl F5. It now works correctly. Now close it. This part is very ugly. Please understand that model matrix we created using GLM library. GLM library provides a handy function GLM value ptr. We can pass this matrix like this. In the same manner, we can use like this GLM value ptr projection matrix, then one more parenthesis. Now press Ctrl F5. Now it works correctly. We have to read the documentation very carefully, but documentation can make mistake. So we have to dig up the source code too. In this source code, this angle is already in radian, but this documentation says this function rotate first parameter, second parameter. This documentation says the second parameter is the angle of rotation in degrees, but this is wrong. My point is, we have to read the documentation carefully, but also have to double check the source code.